now, Ron Rivera's job is safe with the Washington Commanders. They just fired offensive coordinator Scott Turner, and it looks to be another quarterback situation heading into the offseason. But I think Sam Howell should be that guy. This game, he didn't do anything too crazy, nothing splashy, but he played with confidence and showed a lot of poise. Pretty sure Sam would have been starting a lot more games this season. We would have got a bigger sample size for him. But of course, he had that injury, right? But this game, he finished with 169 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And like I said, nothing crazy, but he looked to be in command of this offense. I do acknowledge that the Commanders more than likely kept this game plan very vanilla and simple for Sam, but he made some very tough throws, and he took what the defense gave him. Needless to say, it was very fun to watch Sam Howell in his NFL debut, and he can very much well save Ron Rivera's job going forward.
Begin. So this is from Jonathan Jones from CBS. He said the Washington Commanders have seemingly found their 2023 QB1 Sam Howell, and then you can see right here it says Commanders informing potential offensive coordinator candidates that Sam Howell will likely be their starting quarterback in 2023. And when you see a report like this, even though it is from kind of a trusted source, you're like, okay, is it really true? Because there's a bunch of reports. Like I saw a report that the Commanders might be interested in Derek Carr, stuff like that. So I was like, I don't know if I'm going to make a video on this. But then you see reports from John Keim, Ben Standig, Matthew Paris, all kind of confirming it. And let's go through real quick and read what they're saying. So this is what John Keim says. Here's what I know about Sam Howell and QB1. Enters the offseason this way. As Jonathan Jones reported, Washington has told some offensive coordinator candidates, but he still has to secure the job. Other options will be discussed as well. In other words, long way to go, but he's starting from a good place. So they're basically saying he's QB1, and if a good option arises, like really, really good, of course, like if a good option falls into their lap, Sam Howell isn't going to prevent them from pursuing that option. But right now, the options don't look that great. There's a couple potential options like Lamar Jackson. I like Lamar a lot, but if you think about it, to get someone like Lamar, you're gonna have to trade a ton. You're gonna have to trade multiple first round picks and a lot of other assets to get him. You're gonna have to pay him $50+ million a year. The Ravens have only won one playoff game with Lamar, and that's with his contract at $1 or $2 million. I'm not saying Lamar isn't a great player, because he is. I don't know if I would trade for him, but that's an option. It's a very unlikely option, but it's something that, for a little bit in the offseason, I bet you there's going to be a period of time where people are kind of doubting if Lamar will be back in Baltimore. But the options aren't great. You can Derek Carr, Jimmy G, blah, blah, blah. I and a lot of other fans, and we discussed this yesterday on my stream with Juan Gotti and Abdullah from DMV Sports Zone, that we don't really want a veteran QB that's going to have to take $30 million in cap space and might be a little bit better than someone like Taylor Heineke. Because at that point, just have Sam Howell and Taylor Heineke back and and this is honestly one of my preferred scenarios. It's not a great scenario, but there aren't many great scenarios. So obviously Sam Howell's coming back, and then you bring back Taylor Heineke. You have, Sam Howell as, he'll enter camp as a starter, but he's going to be competing with Heineke, have him get the QB1 reps, but he's got to earn that job. And if he can't beat Taylor Heineke out in training camp, where Heineke honestly is more of a game guy than a practice guy, we've heard that before, he's even worse in practice than he is in the games. So if he can't beat out Taylor Heineke, he's not the guy, or at least if he can't make it competitive, he's not the guy. And and I'm fine with Sam Howell and Taylor Heineke as your QBs next year, and then bring in whatever you want as a third stringer. Honestly, I would much rather have that than Howell and then a guy on, that we're having to pay $30 million, and then you can't really fill out the rest of your roster. That's kind of my thoughts right there. And, is Howell the long-term answer? Probably not, but who knows? We really don't know. He has a talent. A lot of people projected him, and, we always say this, but he was projected to be a top 5. Some people even said number 1 overall pick. But, he came back for his senior year and didn't have an amazing year. Even so, some people still thought he would go in the first or second round, or most people thought he would go in the second, and he ended up dropping to the 5th. So he's got the talent, but still, there are some, he has his weaknesses. Ben Sedig right here says, on the Commanders selling potential offensive coordinator candidates, Sam Howell is likely 2023 QB1. My understanding, Washington's letting some know that while evaluating options for now, looking at entering the offseason with Howell as QB1, he has to win. Other doors could open. So that's kind of what they're saying. Maybe if they fall in love with the QB in the draft, they'll go after him. But still, he's going to have to compete with Howell. Like, even if they draft a guy in the first or second round, like, you would like that guy to be the starter, but I'm sure they will have those two compete.
All right, this is the Keeping It Raw podcast, and I want to talk about quarterback Sam Howell on today because there's an opportunity for Sam Howell to be QB1 in 2023, and I definitely think that this would be a great thing for the Washington Commanders to give Sam Howell that opportunity. Sometimes I know you go out there and you draft a quarterback and you really don't know what type of quarterback you're drafting. Now, if you're the San Francisco 49ers and you look up and you draft a quarterback last in the draft, the last player in the draft to be drafted, and he's doing what Brock Purdy is being able to do, then you definitely know that you really did your homework and you really took an opportunity on a player that you didn't know that was going to turn out or pan out to be the type of player that he is. And Brock Purdy pretty much is putting the league on notice, letting everyone know that you can draft quarterbacks later in the round and you may have some success at doing so. Now, what Purdy is doing, definitely a lot of quarterbacks cannot do that. Right now, currently, he's sitting at 6-0, and he has been playing phenomenal. And the thing about Brock Purdy is, if he happens to go to the Super Bowl, it's going to stir controversy in San Francisco. So there's an opportunity for guys like Trey Lance and Jimmy G to be let go, and maybe the Washington Commanders wouldn't mind bringing those guys in to compete with a Sam Howell or a Taylor Heineke. But at the same time, I think that it's only good for the Washington Commanders to allow Sam Howell to be able to get that opportunity. When you draft a quarterback, this is what you want to see. And Sam Howell played well in the preseason. When I watched a few of the Washington Commanders games and I saw Sam Howell playing, I was like, man, this kid can play. You know, a lot of people had a little knock on Sam Howell, saying that Sam Howell is not a good of a quarterback and blah, blah, blah. But, you know, everybody's going to have their comments about players. You don't really know how a player is going to be until they start suiting up on Sundays, when they get the opportunities. And you need to give these guys a chance. You know, they need to get at least 1 to 3 years to get that opportunity to see where this thing rides and where it goes. But Sam Howell played well in the preseason, and I really thought when Carson Wentz went down that he would get the opportunity, but they ended up giving it to Taylor Heineke, and Taylor Heineke pretty much was balling. He played really well. They was winning football games, and he pretty much got them to almost be able to make the playoffs. But Sam Howell, the last game of the season, gets an opportunity against the Dallas Cowboys, makes the best opportunity out of it. And now pretty much the Washington Commanders are going to allow him to have that opportunity to compete for that QB1. And I really love that they're going to give the man an opportunity to be able to do that. Howell definitely is going to battle for that number 1 spot. I think that they're going to give him a chance to win the position. I think that he's going to put himself in a great position to just continue to keep working hard in the off season and be ready when the season starts next year to be able to be that QB1, because he has the skill set that you want in a quarterback, especially in the modern NFL right now. A guy that can extend plays with his legs and a guy that can also be able to stand in the pocket and deliver the football as well. And in his first start, he showed some flashes against the Cowboys. He had some throws that were questionable, and you're going to have that as a rookie. But at the same time, he had made some plays and delivered the football as well. I think his first play of the game went to Terry McLaurin, and he scored a touchdown on it. So definitely, man, the future is bright for the Commanders with giving Sam Howell that opportunity to be their QB1. I think that the Commander fans are going to be very excited to see what Sam Howell can do in 2023. All right, you guys, this is Keeping It Raw podcast, and I'm out of here. Peace.